Hi guys, in this video we are going to study a framework of Python named Pandas. So Pandas, it is basically used to manipulate tables and series. So the technical name of table in Pandas is data frame. So let's begin. First of all, we have to import the dataset. The dataset can be any file, that is CSV or any other file such as SQL file, and any file that is present in form of tables can be presented as can be imported in it. So let's start. For importing the dataset, we use the function pt.read_CSV. We store it in a variable called health data because it is basically a data of health, and the name of the file is health_data.csv. So how did we import it? Simply click here and click on import, and then you can select the CSV file from here, and then you can import it. So for importing the Pandas library into the Google Laboratory, we use import pandas as pd. So let's run these codes, and so it was just showing the error because the file was not imported. So we have imported the file, and let's try again, and now it has run. So import pandas as pd. So this is the same code. So if we want to display the top 10 entries, just to get an over idea of how our data frame looks like, so for that we use the function called head, and we have entered 10 inside head. This shows that we only need to view the top 10 files from the head of the data. So if we run this code, it shows the top 10 files, top 10 index numbers, and here you can see age, gender, height, weight. It is basically a health data collected. It's a Kaggle data set. We are working on it. So similarly, to display the bottom 10 entries, we use dot tail, and this 10 specifies that we just want to view the last 10 entries. So let's run it and see. So this shows the last 10 entries of the dataset, and to check the size of dataset, like what is the size of our dataset, we use the attribute called .size. This shows the overall size of the dataset. And to check the data type, whether it's a float or it's an object or what type of data it is, we use .dtypes. So to check the data type, we use dtype, and it is showing that this column unnamed is an integer, id column is a float data type, and similarly these all columns are float, and then this glucose and all of these columns are integers. So to calculate the indexes, we use .values. So let's run it, and then I'll tell you what does this mean. So this basically gives us a 2D array of data in which we get an overall view of what the data looks like. So to check the null values, like if so we have another function called isNull. We use this function to check the null values in our data frame. So let's run it, and it basically gives us a boolean expression showing true and false, and all of those values that are not 0 are returned as false, and those values which are 0 it returns as true. So to get the length and to get the size, to get the length of the data column, we use the function called length. So basically the length of the data is 14 columns. So how many rows so here you can see we have specified columns. So if we want to know the length of column, we use dot columns, and if we want to know the number of rows, we just don't write anything, and then length of held data, and you see these are the number of rows. It is a very huge data set. So basically pandas enables us to work on huge data sets, filtering a large amount of data. So now we are going to use another function to manipulate the weight column and to check the highest weight of any individual. For that we are going to use the function called dot maximum dot max, and we are going to enter the column weight. So let's run it. It will show us the maximum weight of the column, which is 200, and to similarly to show the lowest weight from the column from the weight column, we're going to use dot minimum function, and it basically will show us the minimum weight. So to check out the average weight among the entrants, we will use the function dot mean. So these are basically some functions through which you can get an overall view of the data set, and similarly the above code will be same, and you can get a standard deviation of this column, and you can manipulate any column from that. And to find the variance of data set, we are going to use dot var, and it's basically very simple. So now this one is important. So to provide a statistical summary of the weight data column, like all of the different statistical functions that provided in a single function. So we use the function called dot describe. It would tell you the count, the length of the data set, the mean, standard deviation, minimum, and 25% quartile, 50% quartile, and 75% quartile. Let me tell you what does this mean. It means 25% means that 25% of the data in weight column is lesser than 65, meaning 25% people have lesser weight than 65. 50% people have lesser weight than 72, and 75% people have lesser weight than 82, and the maximum weight is 100. And it also shows the name of the column, and the data type of this column is float. So to check the names of column, we use dot column attribute, and so this one is a bit tough, so you have to focus. So there's another problem, like I have created this solution just for you guys. Let's find out how many people have a weight of 170, sorry, height of 170. So for that we will have that's not height, that's a weight of 62. So it's wrong manipulated, so I'll have to correct it out. How many people have a weight of 62 kg? Move these items because it just feels some weird. So for that we use the comparison operator. We enter the weight column, and then is a comparison operator that is used to compare between two values, and this would actually show us how many people have a weight of 62. Let's run it. So it basically shows us a Boolean series of all of the rows in which the people that have weight of 62, it will return it as true. So to get an overall idea of all the functions that can be applied in pandas, we use the dir function. It is basically a very good function in which you don't have to remember all of the functions when you are just starting out in pandas. You just have to enter dir, and then you can see it gives you a set of functions that you can use to manipulate the data set. So these are all the functions. So there are lots of functions in. So to check the frequency of the data set, how like frequency is how many times a specific thing is present in the data set. We use value counts. So let's run it. So you see here it shows you this whole data set with the name, length, and data type in basic. So that's it from this video. Hope you like. Peace out.